Welcome everyone to our webinar on events. I'm going to be joined today by Kai Carlson, who is on our client success team. We're going to be chatting today all about events and how they can help you earn more revenue. So before we get started, let me just go into a few items on support and ways you can get other types of help and to stay connected. So first off is Jackrabbit support. We hear from our clients that our support is outstanding. If you can click on the question mark icon in your Jackrabbit system, you will be able to submit a ticket to our support team, request a call, and we also offer live chat. You will also find in your Jackrabbit system a bullhorn icon on the menu bar, and that includes our resource center, which includes our latest enhancements, blogs, webinars, and so much more help in there that you'll find. You can also find more Jackrabbit webinars available on our jackrabbitclass.com website underneath support and then webinars. And I'll add that link to the chat in just a moment. We also offer a self-guided training system for you. You can find that by clicking on the question mark icon and then clicking on staff training options. That's a self-guided training that you can use or your staff, and it'll help you master the core functions of Jackrabbit. You can also request to join our Facebook users group if you haven't already. You can search for our group on Facebook and request to join. It'll allow you to network with other Jackrabbit users and share your ideas and ask questions, etc. We also have our Jackrabbit support team and myself as admin on that group, who we are in there frequently and just kind of, giving advice and help as needed. So that's it for me so far. I'd like to bring to the stage Kai Carlson to kick us off with our webinar.
Hi everyone, Kai here. I know a lot of you, and I'm looking forward to helping you through this training. We are going to talk about events, and one sec here. So right now, events basically is the feature we have in Jackrabbit that we use to handle birthday parties, parents' night out, workshops, and a few other things, even t-shirt ordering. And in this training, I hope I will be able to explain clearly to you how to set up an event, integrate the event with your website, how to promote the event, manage multiple events at the same time, and hopefully also get to cover how to manage RSVPs for birthday parties and the waivers. So the first thing that you would be doing is, of course, setting up your permissions. So if you have staff members that you are going to rely on to create the events and manage them, you would want to make sure that they have sufficient permissions that will not only create the event, but also add them to the calendar, enroll existing families and students to the event, post event fees, process payments, and run event reports. The other thing that you would need to do to set up or to prepare for setting up an event is to create specific event transaction types, category ones, and if necessary, event sessions. The first step is to set up your event type. So it'll define the setup of the event type, defines the participants, cost, billing, event descriptions, customizable questionnaires, and customizable agreement policies, or even the waiver clauses. You would be creating the event type by selecting the Add Event Type from the Events drop-down menu, and start by giving the event a name, location, and category 1. So let's go to events. And this is how you would begin by adding an event. You would put the name in here, assign it a location. And remember that once you assign a location, you will not be able to change that for that event. You'd have to start all over again if you change that location. And you could also set up a category one for that new event. Let's look at, in case, let me show you one of my events. All right, this would be, I would first go to list event types, and you'll notice I have here an event called Winter Dance t-shirt orders. So in here, you would have the option to click return to go back to the previous page. If you make any changes to your event or add any information, you can save those changes at all times. Let's say you want to use the same event type to create your summer t-shirt order event, then you could copy the event and modify it to suit your the new event that you're setting up. If you don't need an event anymore and you don't want to clutter your list of event types, you can actually delete the event type as well. Another option here is if this is a recurring event, you could use the view calendar to see the event. What I have here is the event listed on the 30th of November as the final day when you can set those orders. And then we will talk about how to add the date and time for the event. Using this button is what will add the event to the actual calendar. So you'll notice in here that I do have an event for November the 30th, and that's my cutoff date for accepting orders for this t-shirt. So let's talk about the summary tab. In here, you'll see that each family will provide a credit card. Let me show you where that goes down. In here, we will not be posting fees, but they will have to provide a credit card or a debit card to use as a method of paying for the event. Each family, I also set it to do not post because you'll notice that if you look at the questions, I would have to calculate the total cost to the customer based on what they order and how they answer these questions. I do use the description tab over here for two reasons. One is to keep myself informed on what this event is all about and the parameters I'll be using to set it up. And at the bottom, you'll see registration form description. This actually shows up in the registration form. And it's a good idea to make it really clear what they're signing up for by filling this area up. The next is the question tab for t-shirt orders. I actually listed out all the possible t-shirt orders and I asked them to simply add how many they're ordering of that. So they can either leave it blank or they can add the number of t-shirts for that specific size that they would like to order. If you were setting up questions for your event, just take note as well that under the questions type, this could be a checkbox. It could be a small text box. It could be a large text box if you're looking for extensive information. Let's just say it has to do with a child's allergies, maybe, then you'd like something like a large text box to fill in details. It could also be a yes or no. So if I said 1XS in here and I said yes or no, then you would just be simply saying yes to whichever sizes you're ordering, right? You can use those options. Under the required field, you can set this to optional, required, or hidden. let's just say you're not sure about one of the fields, but you want to launch this event, then you can set that question to hidden. On the next tab, we have the agreements. It's always a good idea to reiterate what they're ordering, the payment policy, and the actual legally binding agreement to that, these policies and this signing this. Lastly, we will talk about the dates and times. So in here, dates and times are basically how you would add this to the calendar. So let's say, let's talk about what we have in the link here. When you click on the day, sorry, when you click on the date itself, it brings you to, you'll notice that it says event, not event type, and then it tells you what the date is. So in this case, it's March 31, 2023 for this one. You know what, let's go to the November one. Here we are. So you'll also notice that I didn't put a start time or an end time because this is basically just a deadline on this date, and it will fall out of the calendar as soon as the date passes. We are taking enrollments by family. So family does not need to add a student to the order, just fill in the details. And we also have a maximum size that can sign up for these t-shirt orders. Right now, the status is open, which means that as long as there is an opening and they haven't reached yet the maximum size, the status will always be open. However, once you reach 200, then this will change to booked. Let's look at another event that I have. And let's go back to, this is a sign up sheet for tryouts. You'll notice that I have actually two events that are similar. One says sign up for cheer tryout, and the other is the cheer tryout prep schedule. I wanted to show this to you because there is a interesting way of handling this when it comes to tryouts or any extended period of time like camps, 1 week camp and that kind of thing. I normally suggest that you create one date, like in this case, again, it's 11/30/2020. Oops, sorry. Let's go back there. So I set it up as the sign up. Then you have the date and time. And let's take the first one on the 14th. Okay, I am allowing 12 students to sign up. They will be charged, the families will be charged $20 per student. And the status is open until we reach 12 students signing up for this schedule. I also indicate in the sign up sheet that it's a 5-day cheer tryout prep. But this is only on one day of the calendar. Let me show that to you. So here's the sign up, and when you hover over it, you'll see that there is it shows that it's a link because you'll see it's underlined. However, if I hover over the other 4 days of the week, nothing happens. What I did here is I created 1 day to sign up for the 5-day camp, and 4 days I put them under status notice so that you can see the schedule for that camp. In fact, I could have named this Cheer 1 or Cheer Prep Tryouts number 1. And how I did that is by setting, let's look at the first one here. I set the date, I set a schedule, but I also set the status to notice. So notice is a way to leave a event on the calendar, even past the event date. It does not allow any students to enroll when it is in the status of notice. It just remains in the calendar after the date has passed. Talina, I can't seem to get the slides to run. Shall we put the slides back? Oh, there we go. Perfect. So we have now completed the topic on setting up the event type and the event date and time. So let's talk about promoting the event. There are several ways that we can promote an event. The first one I have on the screen is an email where you can actually add a link to the actual event registration form. So I always recommend that if an event repeats itself, let's just say it's offering families to book a day for a birthday party. Well, this usually will be an offering that could happen on a Friday or a Saturday every week. And if that's the case, I would add a link to the actual calendar rather than the event registration form. On the other hand, if you are sending out an RSVP or giving your customer the option to RSVP for a one-day event, which would be the RSVP for, let's say, Mary's birthday party, and her guests are going to RSVP and sign a waiver, then I would actually change that link. Instead of to a calendar, link it directly to a web registration form. And I'm going to show, so in this case, this is the link that we are using. It has to be the external link, and I'll show you how I got this. And I added a few parameters to only show birthday parties. So I'm going to go back and share my screen once again. And let's go look at that birthday party. So here it is under the gear icon settings. We're going to go to the email templates, and we have the birthday party promo. Actually, I should show it in the using the eye. It is basically what our customers will see, and the link is down here. So this link, if clicked, will bring you to the calendar. And you'll notice that in the calendar, I've got some openings for a birthday party. Maximum size is 1 because once it's booked by the customer, no one else should be able to book that that spot, right? Now, another option, oops, did I do that? All right, looks to me like I've Yeah, I have logged myself out. There you go. All right, so another option I have that I've shown here is that I want to show you as a
Kai,
template. Yeah,
just while you were getting back in there, I went back to the slides real quick. So do you want to switch over to your Jackrabbit screen?
thank you. I didn't notice that it went that way.
That's my bad.
That's okay. Luckily, it's a nice picture in the background. All right, folks, here we are again. So this is my database, and I'm going to show you another email template that I created for promoting my winter ball announcement. In this scenario, I've actually used a QR code. You can easily create QR codes online. Just Google the word QR code generator online. It's free. You put your link to the registration form in the input box, and out comes a QR code. So all they would have to do, your customers, when they get their email, is grab their phones, scan the QR code, and that would bring them directly to the registration form. Now, if they click this, this is what they would see. They would, let's go back to events again. And I am going to open up the, oops, calendar. And I'm going to look for that winter ball. No, not that one. Winter ball tickets. The last day to sign up for a winter ball would be the 15th of November. So what I would need is to click this external event calendar. If I wanted to see what our customers see, you would have to use external links, not the link in here that says INT equals 1. That means it's internal. So we're going to use this link instead. It'll bring up the same table calendar. And when I click the winter ball ticket here, I will get my registration form for the winter ball. And that same QR code that I put in my template will also bring this up once you scan it. All right. I hope you find that helpful because QR is becoming such a popular thing these days. So another way to promote the event is to actually post it in the on your website. So I am going to open up a online HTML generator to show you, to give you an example of what this looks like. So up here at the top, I used a HTML button function that when I click it, order winter dance t-shirts up here. That's what I'm using for this demo. If I click it, it's going to bring me straight to the registration form for the winter dance t-shirts. And as you can see, this is a one-day event, and I always set the event to the last day that they can order, right? And down at the bottom, I am using iframe HTML to embed two things. One is a general calendar for booking birthday parties. And you'll see that's all you see here are the birthday parties. All right. However, I also created a second calendar for RSVPs. So here we have Abby's birthday party and we have Mary's birthday party. So if a customer's guest goes to your website, they would look for the RSVP calendar and find their friend's party and click it and then register for the event. And at the same time, aside from adding the students' names, they will also be signing the risk release and agreement waivers, agreement policies. In there, you can also add questions. Of course, it's important to know if a student that's attending has an allergy. And at the bottom, we indicate, please indicate each student's name and the allergy that they have, if any. Um, just a few ways to use that. So those are the 3 ways of promoting our events. The next is how to register for an event. So let's go back to event number 2, which is your sign-up sheet. There are 3 ways to register for an event. First, you could use, let's go to the event date and time, and let's talk again about the one that's happening on the 14th of November. You can enroll an existing family into an event. However, this is set for students, so your staff member should actually use enroll existing students. If I click that, then the search box comes up. I'm going to search for a student that is joining this event. We know that the student is inactive and the student's name is Nancy Newton over here. So I'm going to click that and enroll the student into that event easily. All right. So that's step number 1. Nancy is in there. What you have to tell your staff they need to do next is quickly go to the questions tab. The Newton student row is in there. You can put and my questions were, what is the student's nickname and what t-shirt size should we order? And then save that. So you need to remember to always, if you're using the quick in Jackrabbit buttons to enroll existing students or families, you have to remember to go to the questions if there are any and answer those questions as well. If it's a brand new student that you don't and the family does not have an account, you would use the quick registration form, and this will bring up the same um, fields that are in the online registration form. The difference here is there is no waiver or agreements in this particular in the quick registration because you can't sign for the family. They have to go online and sign the agreement themselves. That's why it's highly recommended if it's a brand new family to go and instead ask them to go to your website and click on the link in the calendar or a direct button to that event that you have set up.
We're getting a few questions in here, Kai. Will we have a chance to answer them at the end, do you feel?
Well, let's see. We have 2 more minutes well, the last thing is basically setting up, looking at the reports. But if they would like to, I'm not sure, should we do a quick poll, do reports, or do we go ahead and just answer questions?
Let's take a look at reports real quick.
All right. So stop share and let's go here. Yay, it worked. I was worried I would get back to the same problem. All right, so, oh, you know what I forgot to mention is a parent portal. So you can also direct existing families to the parent portal so that they can sign those agreements and waivers when they enroll in an event. So all they would have to do is log in, click classes and events, and in that option you'll find a birthday party, a birthday cake icon for events itself. So you click on that. Then at the bottom, you would select the events. Now, if you want to see it in a calendar format, there is the option to view the calendar. Or you could probably go and add a filter and look for caps or waivers. It all depends what that event type is and if you're how you communicate how to do this with to your parents. All the same, all events will show up here depending on how you filter events at this page. And then you would select the event, add it to the cart, select the student, answer all the required questions and agree to the policies, and then click add. It's really quite simple. So here's where you add the student, then you answer the questions, you agree to the policies, and then click add. I did not mention how to post fees. So let's go and talk about this for a minute. There are several ways to post fees. One would be to go directly to the family's account and use the make sale post fee to add the fee. If, let's say, a family was ordering one t-shirt that was small and another t-shirt medium, that means it's two $20 t-shirts, or and you would then set this to a special event. T-shirt probably is the category one and a $40, right? And if you charge tax, then you would check the tax box so that Jackrabbit can calculate the tax based on your settings. You can even add the student's name in there. I would suggest always to fill in whatever you can for every transaction you're posting. Another option is to go straight to the event date itself and then post a fee to all who are enrolled in that class, in that event. Another option again is to post event fees automatically online. So if a customer goes to the parent portal and you allow that and you set the transaction details to post event fee per family, then Jackrabbit would do it for you in the parent portal and require payment if that is what you set up. So let's go to reports. One, of course, you've seen me use this quite a bit, the list event types report, which is under the events drop-down menu. Another is the list event dates and times. This is just a summary of all events happening. And in here, you can see how many are enrolled. Um, if it's a single booking for birthday parties, let's say, then this family name will show here. We also have the event detail report, which is very much like the class roles report that you're familiar with. Then we have the sign in and out sheet, which you could use because events does not have a means of taking attendance in the staff portal. You would be using the sign in and out sheet. And we have also a PDF for event enrollment registrations. And that's it. I'm ready for any questions we might, if we have time. What do you think, Talina?
Yeah, let's take a couple questions. If we don't get to your question, you'll receive a response via email shortly after the webinar. Let's take a look real quick here. So Devin asks, how do you create a guest list / email out of the RSVP links for a birthday party?
That's a really good question. Let me go back to my database. And let's go to a birthday party. So we've got here Abby's, I believe I did Abby's. Let's go there. And you'll see all the guests who enrolled will show up on this list. This list can be printed. All right. Another option you have would be to sorry, would be to use the reports option under events And the signing in the note sheet is another option where you would select Abby's birthday party. If you want to ensure that you've got the contact information. If you also want to use staff sign in, you would do that as well. I'm just going to make this pretty simple and hit submit. And this is what it looks like. So we would print this off. And if you print this off into PDF, this is what you would get. You would get all the names of the parents or the family names, the student name, a contact number, and then you could sign them in and out. But this is also your guest list. Now, if you want to email these guests, then you could actually go back to the event itself, back to Abby's, and you can dates and times, sorry. You would have to actually go to the event date itself, and you can email or text all the families that are signed up for the event using this button over here. Did I answer your question?
Yes, I think that's great. I also shared a link in the chat for how to capture RSVPs. So that should also give them some reference that they can refer back to. Let's see. We have another question here about how did you create the HTML code for the button? Is that something you can quickly answer, Kai?
Yes, definitely. So let's start off with what I put in for this button up here, this little button. If you are using a web builder like Wix or GoDaddy, all right, there are specific features in there that create buttons, and they will ask you what that button does. And one option is to use the button to as a link, right? Now, and what you have to provide in your web builder is the actual HTML URL or link to the item that that button will bring up. This in particular is a calendar. So we're going to go to the event you want to put in that button. And let's just pick something that makes sense. If you wanted to set up a link to the book a birthday party calendar, then you would use book your 1 p.m., 4 p.m. Book your birthday party is one option, right? Um, so you would click that. You would go to view calendar. Oops, yep, here. And it's either below, depending on how large your screen is either below the calendar or on the side. This is what you would use as the link. All right. Now, if you wanted to actually use instead a direct link to a web registration form and put that in the calendar, and that would be an example would be the RSVP right here. I would then again click that and I would view that calendar. I would go to Abby's birthday party right here. And when I click it, it will bring up the registration form. I would then copy. You don't need this. Anything that has a blank after the equal sign, you don't need that. You will need this. And you would put that as the link for the button that you are creating in your website.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kai. We got one more question that we can take before we have to end today. Brienne asks, how did you add pictures to the event enrollment page?
Another good question. I have two tricks. One, for the events enrollment page, I actually go to the email families page and I use the insert image here. Watch what I do, okay? So I'm going to insert image and I want to insert this cheer picture right here or this it could be these balloons. Let's just say the balloons. So we're going to hit, so now you've got the balloon image in the email. Now, not many know that when you create emails, all the things you add here, they're actually links that Jackrabbit uses and for an image that's saved in our server. So I would go here where it says source code. It's a greater than and less than sign. If you hover over it, it says source code. I would click that and I would copy beginning HTTPS all the way till JPEG right there and use that as the link. So copy that link. All right. And so now cancel. So I copy that link. Then I would go to an event, go back in here. And if you go, I'm going to pick something else. Let's just see. Let's just use this Open Gym registration. Down at the bottom, you will see the words online registration form graphic URL right there. Okay. If I click, there's nothing in there. If I click to view the calendar and then picked it up, and if I went in here, oops, no, I'm going out of topic. Hold on, sorry. Let's go back to that one. So if I go to Open Gym registration down here, and I put that in there, paste, it did not paste. Let's grab that once again. So email, and insert image where I put an image in there. Remember, you will save it first, of course, right? Use this to find the image, save it, select it. When you see the green check mark in there, insert it, click the source code, and copy the link right there. Copy that. And now I'm going to go back to what I was fixing, Open Gym right there. And I'm going to change that. That was the old, that was my link on top. I made a mess there, didn't I?
No worries. It happens to the best of us.
Okay, now I'm going to put that link. See how it ends in JPEG? That's an indicator that you have a graphic image that is saved on the internet. And that's what I'm going to use there. Save that. Now I'm going to create a date and time, and let's just say for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday. I'm leaving everything else out. All right. Now let's look at, do a quick registration. And there's that image right there.
Wow, so cool. What a great idea. Thank you so much for sharing how you did that, Kai.
That was a tip.
I love it. All righty. So I just want to remind everybody that thank you again for joining us today. Thank you for all your great questions. We apologize if we didn't get to your question today. We will be responding to them after the webinar. And you will receive a recording of this webinar as well. So, and if you had a chance, you can click over on the handouts tab of your chat window there, and you should be able to download a copy of the slide deck. So again, thank you again for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, Kai, and thank you, everybody. Bye now.
It was my pleasure. Bye, everyone.